Okay, I'm good. Did I hit the did I oh man, okay, I hit the oh man, I am so ill prepared. Oh my god, what did I just do? Uh we are live. We are live. Pop Rages. Um things are going off. I was trying to get everything together Saturday night. This is our I've been gone. So Pop Rages, I've been gone for like almost 2 years, 18 months. I don't know, months, almost 2 years. And the studio got, so I lived in Los Angeles for 20 years, almost 20 years. And I had to get out of Dodge. So Los Angeles is literally the de-evolution, the de-civilization of human society. Everyone I knew, everyone who had a small business was losing it, going out of business. All hell. It's still, Los Angeles is a hellhole. Los Angeles is a hellhole. Thank you. Thank you very much. Like that is, that's just the bottom line. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, so I had to get out. I had to sell the business. I had to sell pieces of it, sell this. So when you're downsizing, you lose the studio. So I couldn't make videos. So I was making videos on my other channel, Godless Universe. And now I left Los Angeles a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, finally got my live studio going. And here we are, my friends. Here we are, finally. I'm completely ill prepared. You know what? You feel like? I feel like you know those you know when like you leave the house. And you're driving, you're going to maybe you're going on a date or you're going on something special. You know, and you realize you forgot to put deodorant on. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's terrifying. That's all. Too loud. There we go. Too loud. That's a horror story. Luckily, I don't care if I make a fool of myself because I realize I'm gonna say I'm an influencer. Oh, fuck. I hate that word. Fuck, I hate that word. I hate the word influencer. So, you know what? I'm reviewing Frankenstein. I'm getting started. I know, you know what? I know it's a battle back. People think that Pop Rages, that, you know, this Danny guy, I am a screenwriter. I'm a award-winning screenwriter. I may actually be the most winningest screenwriter in the film festival circuit. The most winning, yeah. You can Google me, Danny Alex. Just Google me. I've some very big screenplays. Some screenplays that have a couple thousand entries. And when you come on top and you win those ones, I mean, you're always blown away. You're blown away. Yeah, and but anyway, so screenwriting, I've never sold one of my screenplays. By the way, I've never, and here's why. And you might understand, because when these production companies, most of them, which at the time were, I think they're spread out now for the most part. LA is just a disaster. Production-wise, everything, a disaster. I would say 70% of the people lost their jobs in that business. And you got to remember, when you live in Los Angeles, 99.7% of the city don't give a damn about movies. It's just people living their lives. Like, you don't even think once about the movie business. You don't. When you live in Los Angeles, you don't. It doesn't matter. Like, it's irrelevant if you live in Los Angeles, the movie business. You just really don't. It's just another city, you know? But if you are in the movie business, you've been 70% of people wiped out. Absolutely annihilated. Yeah. Do you applaud that? Oh, the studio audience wants to applaud that. So very well. Well done. So, but anyway, I'm back. It's going to be, hopefully a lot of the people that are subscribed come back to Pop Rages. I'm going to be doing regular live shows. So we're back, mofo. We're back, mofo. So today I'm going to do, it's not going to be a full show today. Every Saturday we are going live. Can I say Saturday Night Live? Are they going to sue me? They're going to sue this small channel. I got sued for like $4 million. Ah, shit. No, I think I can go live Saturday night. POPRAGEOUS, something like that. So yeah, so on the first episode here, first outing in almost 2 years. Oh, yeah, and thank you, studio. Thank you. No, that's you guys make this possible. There's no one out there. I'm the only guy in the room. Literally, you do this, and you gotta do the entire production, right? You're by yourself, and you do like the entire production. So it's gonna be a shit show, absolute shit show, and that's why I'm having some wine. Oh. That's Saturday night, a little bit of vino. People. So Frankenstein. This is, so the way I like to approach reviews, I do it from a screenwriting perspective. I do it from a feel side, but also understanding story. You got to understand story to really understand story. But in Hollywood or in the movie business, as you know, things have really, can I say it? Things are fucking falling apart, man. I mean, it's, and for a lot of reasons, and for the most part, the movie business has completely mismanaged their own business. They have basically, it's kind of like walking, and then while you're walking in front of you, you're laying landmines as you walk in front of you. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. It's asinine, but that's what they've done. Most studios, I mean, Disney, let's buy Marvel, and let's now. I said this early on. Actually, a number of people in the business in Hollywood said that they will be Disneyfied. I think a lot of people were surprised that it took so long for Marvel to be Disneyfied. But they're a business brand. It's. Nothing is surprising. What's the new one? Star Trek Academy. Sorry, no, that's Paramount. Not the new. Well, I guess the Acolyte. Not the latest one. There's more coming. I mean, Star Wars. Oh, jeez. You know, it is amazing how you can fall up by failing in Hollywood. You literally, you can just fail in Hollywood and fall up. Thank you. Yeah. If you did this in any other business, as CEO, Kathleen Kennedy of CEO, studio head, if you were putting out stuff like that in the Procter and Gamble, let's say you worked for Procter and Gamble, you're putting out consumer products, and you had a track record like Kathleen Kennedy has with Star Wars. What do you think about that? That's that ain't gonna go very good, right? No. But it's the only business, and you know what? I don't like attacking the person, right? James Gunn, let's say Superman. James Gunn has proven he can make a pretty damn good movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was a very good movie. It was a very good script. It was very well executed. He basically created a franchise where no franchise developed. But now if you got to recast the thing, you might have some problems because Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt, there are some really anchor actors. There are some anchor actors in that. But look, just because Superman missed the mark big time, I'm doing a review on that. There can be a lot of reviews coming out. Some of them are going to be maybe feeling like we already. But hey, this is my review, all right, motherfucker. I don't care about other people's reviews. But most from a screenwriter perspective, that's the way I'm going at as a screenwriter. So let's do Frankenstein. Guillermo Del Toro. This movie really felt in so many ways like Shape of Water. That was one of the problems with the movie. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. Like, this was a breath of fresh air. Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. It was a breath of fresh air compared to the crap and the sludge that comes our way. Guillermo del Toro he is a filmmaker that he does it the way he wants to do it. What I also impressive, just like Denis Villeneuve, a lot of the directors, some of the more impressive directors are also the writers. Yes, Guillermo del Toro also wrote Frankenstein, which is he changed things from the what's her name, the actor, the author, Shelley, Mary Shelley, changed a lot of things, kept it sort of baseline, but he really changed a lot of things. But there were a lot of elements that worked, but there were some elements that really didn't work. It kind of like, it's almost like we started at the climax, and by the end you're expecting some, third act boom, and it ended with a whimper. Now, some people are going to say it was okay. I don't think it was. I think there could have been a lot more spice added. Like if I was the screenwriter on that one, or if I was, Guillermo del Toro gave it to me, I would have said, can we put a little bit of zest on the end? This is really ending in a like you started with the juicy stuff, right? And you always want to start with the opening scene in a movie is so critical, and he nailed it, right? He basically started with almost at the end, and from there he kind of it was, if you saw The Last Duel, which bombed, it was actually, but there are elements of The Last Duel that were good. This was a story that was told from the perspective of two different people, but not the same story, two parts of the story. So the first half, there are spoilers throughout this. This is going to be spoilers everywhere. There's no the opening was really strong. Like it caught your attention. It's like you're always at the edge of your seat throughout Frankenstein, waiting for something more to happen. That at times you did get a payoff, like when Frankenstein fought the wolves. I thought that could have been a little stronger. But when Frankenstein fought the wolves, that was one of the payoffs. But at that point in time, we were sort of at his perspective. Frankenstein had the back half of the perspective. Victor had the front half of the perspective. And I thought there was probably stronger ways that everything could have been tied in for a more of a bigger bang at the end. Because it was really Frankenstein walking off into the sunset. That was literally what happened. A big theme, if you watch the movie, a big theme. Now, the scenes were awesome. Guillermo del Toro is always awesome with the scenes. Like his, and sunlight was a big thing. So if you watch Frankenstein, watch the sunlight. Sunlight in this movie is, and he uses it in ways that are visually just amazing. You're watching what's going on. He creates spectacle. He creates visual spectacle to the point where you kind of think it's going to get corny, but he knows where to pull back. I mean, he's got a talent that way. Pacific Rim, Shape of Water. But this, I thought the middle part of this movie was so much like Shape of Water. Okay, you know what? You got the mean guy that's beaten up on in this case, it was Frankenstein. I didn't like the actor's performance. What was his name? The actor's performance in Frankenstein. I thought his face could have been way more animated. I mean, way more animated. What was his name? He's a young kid though. Like he did good for. I think it was his first movie. So was it Jacob was it Jacob Elordi? Is that his name? Right, that's his name, right? The creature. He played the creature, and I just felt that at times he could have really taken those facial expressions and. Or maybe what it was, I was expecting or hoping for a little bit more edginess out of Frankenstein, but it kind of felt sedated. He tried, in this case, Guillermo del Toro, he tried to humanize. He kind of flipped it where the movie starts, and it's actually good writing. Guillermo del Toro starts with, we think Victor Frankenstein is going to be the protagonist. But it actually spins that by the end of it, we realize that Frankenstein is actually the protagonist, the good guy. and Victor Frankenstein is the asshole. He's the end. It's a nice shift, but I tell you, there's a couple of places where it really fell flat, and I don't know. Here's the difference. When as a screenwriter, you try and make everything fluid. Each scene goes from the next in a way that surprises, builds on the last one, and feels like you're waiting for the next scene and you just can't wait for it. When the scenes start to feel like Lego blocks, when they feel like Lego blocks, right? You know how Lego blocks stack. It's like you get a yellow one, then you get a red one, then you get a blue one. And it's like so predictable, like they cut. There was a part in the movie where that happened. And it was basically in the third act where the climax was happening and people were dying. And it was predictable. It was corny for a movie that you thought was going to take you in a place by the end of it that you were going to really get an amazing payoff for that you never got. You never got the payoff, right? You never got the payoff. Great character arc for Victor Frankenstein, right? Total asshole to, you know what? On his deathbed, he sees but everyone died at the perfect moment. What do you boo that? I don't know. What do you?
Let's make lemonade.
But let's start. We can start with the characters. The characters in Frankenstein. For the most part, they were okay. They were pretty good. Nothing stand out. There was nothing that made you go, "Oh wow, like this is really." The Frankenstein guy, like I think he's young, right? 17 or something like that. Like I say, I wish I felt like he could have had that very, very bland eyes. Now maybe that was direction, right? Maybe Guillermo Del Toro said, "Look, that's what I want." So you never know that. So an actor might get kicked in the schnoz for, look, he didn't do a more energetic performance, but it was the actual director that was asking the actor not to do it. Here's what I want from you in this scene. A director directs. And so when you take that from the director, that's what you do. But I don't know. I thought there was an opportunity that Frankenstein, call him Frank, should have come across almost like he was about to let loose, like there was uncontrolled rage. And yes, we saw it with the wolves, but that was there were times where it could have. Anyway, the characters are for the most part, pretty good. Overall, the conflict, if you take a look at the conflict of the movie, I think most people thought maybe we were building to something that never came. It's like you're sitting there waiting. Was it satisfying? Yeah. I mean, somewhat, it wasn't satisfying to the degree where, Victor dies and Frankenstein walks into the sunset, and everyone's happy. It's like everyone's feeling good. I don't know if that's what I want. I didn't want that. I wanted a tragedy in this movie. I wanted the characters. I wanted the characters to come full circle. I did not want Frank, to be this lovable little cutesy 7-foot tall baby Yoda, I just, that was like, I didn't thank you. That wasn't overly satisfying. The theme, like what you got from the movie though, the feeling of some of those scenes are freaking magnificent. Guillermo del Toro he knows how to set up a scene. He knows when you look at the vibrancy, especially of the sunlight, when you watch the movie, watch the sunlight, how he uses sunlight in a lot of scenes. It is a predominant idea that he took, and it is stunning. Sunlight behind the actor's head as they are, doing the scene. It was a conscious decision on his part. The theme was good. I thought it could have been a little bit more energetic. It could have been a little bit more edgy, but overall, it was the visuals in Frankenstein that really captured your attention for the most part. As leading up to the, Frankenstein doing the experiment, uh, bringing Frankenstein to life was pretty compelling. Like it got pretty good. It was actually the third act that just kind of it dipped and you kind of like, wait a sec. So we started with the third act and we kind of like ended up with a little love story. It's like a little, hey dad, son, I'll always love you, but I gotta die now. So when you walk off to the sunset, and we'll leave the audience feeling happy. All right, that's what it kind of felt like. I like, yeah. I need some wine. Yeah. It's Saturday night. First POPRAGEOUS live show back after 18 months. I'm freaking drinking fucking wine, man. So, but for the most part, it was good. The mood and tone, I thought it could have been edgier. It's Frankenstein. Frankenstein. It's the expectation, right? Was it bad? No, it was good. But I just thought there was parts of it that kind of, it was the third act that was for the most part unsatisfying. The part where he's making, the part where we're leading up, the part with Elizabeth, the part with, and of course in the book, Frankenstein kills Elizabeth, right? It is, oh God, it's been so long. Victor is standing guard. Victor thinks that, well, he's not going to, Frankenstein's not going to come back and kill him, so he stands guard, puts Elizabeth to sleep. But of course, in the sleep, Frankenstein kills Elizabeth, and Frankenstein is the horrible monster that, he was the antagonist that. But stories from back then were very cookie cutter. You can almost every story. They were even the TV shows like Star Trek, right? The original Star Trek, The GOAT, one of my favorite shows of all time. But the mood and tone was overall good. I just felt it could have been edgier. We could have the opening did, like, you really felt the opening scene, which is so critical, was really well done. And of course you're thinking, well, Frankenstein must have had is he healing? Because he's getting hit with a lot of bullets that he probably shouldn't be getting, like that big shotgun that peppered him. It's like, okay, well, Frankenstein must be Frankerine, or like, what's the Frank Pool? Because he's, you get the feeling early on, okay, it looks like Frankenstein in this movie could actually join the Avengers. That's what I know. What could, yeah, Frank in this movie can join the Avengers. What I want to see in the next movie, I want to see a 3-way. I want to see Wolverine, Deadpool, Frankenstein. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Wolverine v Deadpool v Frankenstein. Really? Okay. That's actually the funniest laugh on the internet right there. That's the funniest laugh of the. But with super healing powers, Frankenstein can't die, so it's Deadpool, Wolverine, and Frankenstein in a 3-way match. That's what I want to see. Guillermo, do it. Talk to Marvel. So that was the part about Frankenstein that. What that does, so the problem I have with Frankenstein getting hit with, he frickin' was dynamite in his hand didn't frickin' kill him. So what are we scared of? I mean, so if he's kind of like, by the time of the end shows up, he turns into the protagonist, and dynamite can't even kill Frankenstein. It's a little bit over the edge, like a little bit too much. There needs to be vulnerability in every character. It's part of the problem with Superman. Superman is a flawed character. Superman is a flawed character because in every movie you get the kryptonite, and every movie you get some derivative of Kryptonian cell structure on the other side that he's got to fight to make it all believable. It's a tough sell. Tough sell. Superman's another movie. That's another review. But so you can, that was an issue that I had with Frankenstein. You know what? You could have made him more agile. You could have given him vulnerability. Maybe something. You knew that he was healing, or unless it was going to be a major mistake, when he went underwater, so he can't even drown. And then he punched his way through the ice. And before that, he had two fingers that were all messed up. When he punched through the ice, all of his fingers were back together. And that's when I was like, wait a sec. Either they've just made a terrible continuity mistake. There's actually a continuity officer on every production. And the continuity officer goes scene to scene, making sure that the continuity of each scene prior to it makes sense, that there's something not going on. Wait a second. That scene. So a continuity officer would have caught that easily when the two fists went through the ice. So you knew that there was some serious, and obviously he was shot a few times and he wasn't dying. Frank wasn't dying. So the plot. So here's the thing. I wrote these notes. Like, if you see, like, look at those notes. Can you see these notes? This is my scribble. This is my scribble. Oh no, this is part 2. This is what my scribble looks like. But of course, I finished watching the movie about a half hour before we're supposed to go live, and I had no way to go through any of my notes. But the problem was, so a lot of what they did was with Frankenstein. Guillermo Del Toro is an excellent director. In this case, and it's one of these screenwriting tricks that you use, is when your character becomes friends with animals, or they do nice things to animals. The example I always give is Tombstone. When you introduce your protagonist, make them do something nice to an animal. And then, of course, in Tombstone, you have that guy whipping Wyatt Earp's horse. And Wyatt Earp comes, grabs his hand, and then whips him back, and he goes, "Hurt, don't it?" That is classic. Tombstone is some of the best. They start with the antagonist, with the cowboys, and then we go to a perfect setup of the protagonist. In this case, we get to see how powerful the antagonist is, right? We get to see how powerful Frankenstein is. But we never get a payoff going into the final act. Now, if you like that sort of subdued, it was all about characters finding themselves. That was the whole third act. The payoff in Frankenstein was Victor Frankenstein, the full character arc. And of course, and you knew, you knew that Frankenstein there was going to be a forgive moment, because with the old guy, Walter Frey, Walter Frey was in the movie. So when Walter Frey, the old guy that he befriended, I cannot believe he was in that little place and he was never detected. No one, he was living in that, like, right beside the house, and no one detected him. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch. I was like, what? And then his hair grew. He only saw snow once, so his hair grew within 2 or 3 months, very long. So he must have hair that grows exceptionally fast, because he was bald, and then 2-3 months later he had the full length hair. But with Walter Frey, there's the whole speech about forgiving, so okay, you knew that was going to be an integral part to the ending. You knew it. Like, you knew that Victor Frankenstein was going to forgive. Like, it was so predictable. So predictable. So, I mean, some of the plot elements were not as good as you would hope. Overall, pretty solid. Overall, this is a solid movie, right? Like, make no mistake. There's no woke shit going on. There's no DEI casting going on. There's no Guillermo del Toro. He doesn't care. It's like, well, fuck it. Well, then I got to cast my movie just exactly the way it feels it should be cast. Which any movie should be cast. And it doesn't matter gender, race, or anything with the actors. Just cast great actors. The casting was pretty good. I thought everyone did a pretty good job. There's really, with the sludge that we get, Frankenstein. I mean, it's overall, pretty solid. But that was the, there are parts of it that were kind of predictable, very predictable. The dialogue, it was good. It actually, I actually found it very good. It needed to do exactly what it needed to do. There wasn't cases with the dialogue where it went over the top or too far this way or too far that way. It needed to do, and that's what you do with dialogue. You don't want to overdo dialogue unless you're trying to get into a Quentin Tarantino kind of a movie. Dialogue needs to be quick, fast, and without needed clutter. Audiences can get very confused very quickly. So the dialogue, I thought for the most part was good. The visual style, guys, I mean, Guillermo Del Toro knows visuals. Guillermo del Toro knows how to put a scene up. Watch the movie, watch the sunlight, watch the depth of how he uses lighting. He's not scared to put shadows on an actor's face. He's not scared to use natural lighting. He's not scared to bring up the contrast a little bit when he needs to. He knew the visual feel of this movie, and he nailed it. The visual feel, he nailed it. I'll give you one that wasn't: Nosferatu. That movie sucked. I thought it was terrible. It lost a shitload of money, just like the movie he did before that, the Northerner, the Northman. I'm sorry, Bob Iger's his last two movies sucked ass. Nosferatu compared to Frankenstein was shit. It lost $100 million. Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro is a well-refined director, screenwriter, filmmaker. He knows what he's doing. And it shows. Like, is any movie perfect? No. I mean, he won an Oscar for Shape of Water. Some people say yes, no. Why not? I thought it was a good movie. This movie had so many elements of Shape of Water in it. So many. The same thing, like the character who was beaten down on the creature. I mean, that was the exact same, very similar stories, but the feel was very the same. I thought, is this going to end like Shape of Water? It did. It did end exactly as The Shape of Water did. The creature goes walking off into the sunset. Guillermo del Toro, he likes letting the creature walk away. That's red wine. That's red wine. It's Saturday night. POPRAGEOUS. Saturday night. Saturday night. I haven't had enough wine to slur. Holy jeez. So we are going to be doing this every Saturday night. I was so ill prepared for this Saturday, POPRAGEOUS Saturday night. I started at 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 Central, 8. Do I need to go through all the time zones? Is that content? What is content? If you go through YouTube and you watch some of the shit that passes for content, just saying. So what didn't I like? What I didn't like about Frankenstein was when we got to the part at the wedding, right? Now, he did change it. Again, in the original story, Frankenstein kills Elizabeth. And it is literally, he is the antagonist. Victor Frankenstein is the protagonist. Not in this one. Guillermo del Toro, he wrote the story. He changed things, which is fine. And you'd actually want to, because some of these old stories will not work exceptionally well in modern times because they're structured in a very blocky Lego-like way. But what he did is at that point in time, everything turned into what I call Lego blocks, right? People had to die at a certain time, and they died perfectly. It's like when Walter Frey died. The wolves come and attack. Well, and Walter Frey, he didn't die. He had enough to get a few words out. I mean, Frank just ripped through the wolves. I mean, that was pretty cool. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more destruction. But then the two hunters come back and they say that's the creature. But here's the thing: there's dead wolves everywhere, right? The scene didn't make sense. I'm thinking, well, why are they just? Yeah, they see this. They see the same creature that they saw. But there's dead wolves everywhere. There's blood everywhere, and wouldn't the like it? I was like, okay, well, fine. That's that part of the movie. It felt rushed. So Walter Frey dies. That's when we get the forgiveness speech, which you know is going to get pasted at the end. You know that. As a screenwriter, I probably wouldn't have made it so obvious, but when Walter Frey died, it gives that "I forgive you" and this. Okay, that is Frankenstein learning "I forgive you," and that's going to happen at the end. But the convenience of people dying, William Frankenstein died very conveniently. It was just like a push to the side and bump to the head, and while people were getting thrown into walls. William Frankenstein got it pretty good, but he died from his wounds conveniently very quickly. Elizabeth died, and Elizabeth is standing in front of Frankenstein. The gun, boom. The gun kind of felt like it popped out of nowhere. There's a principle in screenwriting called Chekhov's gun, right? But anyway, so Elizabeth takes the bullet to the gut. Frankenstein, of course, then picks her up and walks out. That whole part. So like I say, when I'm writing a screenplay, I try and make everything flow. And when it turns into the feeling that it's Lego blocks, if it starts to feel like Lego blocks, like that part of the movie did in Frankenstein, the Lego blocks start to feel okay. You know what? This could be a product of editing because I think they're just trying to. I think that they realize this is 2.5 hours long, and there's probably a lot more material that Guillermo del Toro filmed because he's good, man. Guillermo del Toro is fucking good. Even his bad movies are like, most people would kill to have his bad movies. I love Pacific Rim. I thought he did those exceptionally well. And Hellboy, I mean, come on. The first Hellboy is... you don't have to like comic books. You don't need to be a comic. You can just like movies, and you go to see the first Hellboy, and you realize that this is a well-constructed movie, right? These are well-constructed characters. This is just well-constructed. Hellboy, the first Hellboy was awesome. I love it. Of course, Shape of Water. But so this is a Netflix film. It was out for a little bit. Where is this here? One of the things, so the log line is usually really important. When you write a screenplay, every screenplay you write in Hollywood, having written several myself, you have to have a log line. And it's called a log line. Most people don't know it, but it's that little line, when you go to IMDb, it's that little line at the very top. Dr. Victor Frankenstein, a brilliant but egotistical scientist, brings a creature to life in a monstrous experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his tragic creation. I don't think the tragic creation actually died in this case. Was Frankenstein? So anyway. Director Guillermo del Toro, writer Guillermo del Toro. It's at a 7.7. 7.7 for Frankenstein. Is it deserved? I think it is. Guillermo del Toro, like there were some issues with this movie. There's issues with every movie. Like Dune 2, and the first Dune, like there's some of my favorite movies. To me, that is the Lord of the Rings of our time. And if you don't understand that, just take a little time to take a 10-minute video on YouTube to learn about the lore of Dune. And then you might say, yes, Denis Villeneuve had to change some things. You have to. Taking a novel and turning it to a screenplay is not easy. People who write screenplays and people who write novels are two different types of monsters, if I could. One's Frankenstein and one is a Nosferatu. I hated Nosferatu. I hated it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. It was clumsy. And I thought Nosferatu, what was his name? Skarsgård played it. He was terrible. What, you want me to be scared of that thing? I could have scared Nosferatu if I was in that movie. Boo. Like, are you serious? Frankenstein, overall, this was a good movie. Except for the clumsy parts in the center there where everyone's dying and they have to get to it's like they had to force the ending in the middle part. And then the ending we got was it was a little, now, I literally, before I went live here, it was a half hour before I went live. So I always try and think of things, what would I do to spice it up a little bit? You could have had a little bit of a fight at the end. Obviously, Victor Frankenstein, he was pretty beaten up and he was on his deathbed. There could have been a little bit more of a compelling issue ending where maybe he was like, instead of being on his deathbed, he was going to die from something. This actually would have worked really well. And Frankenstein had to make the decision, like he was hanging off the edge of a cliff. I'll say something cliche because, like, literally, if I'm writing something, I get days, weeks to do it. But he's hanging off the edge of a cliff. The big fight ensues, and Victor Frankenstein is going to die, and Frankenstein has to make the decision. And at that point in time, do you think, is he going to let Victor die or is he going to save him? And at that point in time, he saves him. And what would have been kind of cool is if somehow Frankenstein died and Victor Frankenstein lives. That would have been, because everything was pointed to Frankenstein lives and Victor dies. But because look, Frankenstein turned into the protagonist, right? He starts off as the end. And that was the great thing about this movie. You had switching of roles. Frankenstein starts as the antagonist, the evil guy. Okay, this guy's like a mean motherfucker. And you think, okay, Victor Frankenstein's getting his ass kicked, and we're supposed to root for the protagonist, aren't we? By the end, you realize the asshole was Victor Frankenstein. And they kind of pushed his anger towards Frankenstein in the middle there. Like, okay, the only reason you're getting angry at Frank is because he only knows one word? Is that okay? Fuck, you are shallow, Victor. You are a shallow motherfucker. Yeah. No, that's what you're gonna. Or even better. Fuck you. Fuck you, Victor. Damn right, fuck you. So anyway, that was, like I say, there was a lot of parallels to the Shape of Water. If you haven't seen Shape of Water, go see Shape of Water. If you want to see a good movie, Shape of Water is a pretty good movie. I love the music in Shape of Water. I like the characters. Shape of Water, when you look back, it deserved to win the Oscar. Some of the CGI was questionable. Did you see the wolves attacking the sheep? You're like, whoa, wait, what? What? Did you run out of budget? What was the budget? Do anyone know what was the budget in Frankenstein? Frankenstein 2025 budget. 120 million, maybe? 120 million. Oh my God, I guessed it. Has approximately 120 million. This is one of the most expensive adaptations of Frankenstein. Dude, it's not an expensive movie in these times. But 120 million bucks, Netflix would probably say, okay, just ease up on the. But when the wolves attack the sheep, you're like, it was like The Thing on Fantastic Four. Well, we only need The Thing to be a pilot and a cook, so we really don't need to put too much money into The Thing. That was Fantastic Four. That review is coming. This is my first day back after 2 years, man. You got to give me a break. You got to give me a little break. The death timing, it's one of the things I have highlighted in my notes. The death timing was so fucking convenient in Frankenstein. If I'm going to, so on IMDb, it's got a 7.7. I would give it a 7.7. 7.5. The visuals are just too good. Guillermo Del Toro, the freshness of not having to put up with the BS of DEI casting. Dear God, that is like enough to kind of make you go, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the CGI, that's just one of the things I got written here. CGI. What do I can't see far. That's why I wear glasses. I can see close. Really, I can so close. Really, like I would look like an old fucking man. Oh, sure. Give me a little. Can I have a little? Um, yeah, amazing sets. Yeah, absolutely. Um, the laboratory detail. You know the oh, you know what? I do have. Shoot, the laboratory detail. Um, is that the one? Yeah, I think this one. The laboratory, like, look at the visuals. I mean, look at the visuals on that. I can't play too much without you. Got to pause it, right? But the opening visuals, like, it's very. This is when Frank was coming to life. The visuals, like you can just see it. So I mean, yes, it's enhanced, but behind that, what you see is there's a camera, lens right there. And to create scenes like this takes a significant amount of film know-how. As the director has to understand what's possible in post, what's possible in editing, and and everything you want to catch off of the shoot, right? What the actors are doing, the visuals, the lighting, everything is lighting. The movie starts and ends with lighting, my friends. I mean, after 20 years in Hollywood and having my share of doing stuff, the great directors, the great cinematographers, every director needs a great cinematographer. And Frankenstein, again, Guillermo del Toro is one of my, could you imagine if Guillermo del Toro actually directed The Hobbit? Could you imagine if he actually directed The Hobbit? Yeah. And Peter Jackson will tell you the same thing. No one knows what happened there. They're pretty bummed on exactly what happened with The Hobbit. Could you imagine? If Guillermo del Toro actually filmed those movies, actually directed those movies, I think it would have been substantially better. Not that Peter Jackson is overtly talented, but he didn't want to do it. He did, and maybe some of that came through, right? I think some of that came through. But there's no music on these. I mean, that's like one of these great things. If you could have an Academy Award winner, that's what you want beside your name. But if you take a look at the visuals, every scene was so carefully planned out. It was convincing. It's a period piece. It's a historical piece that in every scene, Guillermo del Toro did like a Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott is the king. Watch Kingdom of Heaven, one of my favorite movies. Fucking amazing. Even The Last Duel, if it's basically the same story being told 3 times over, but you literally think that he traveled back to 13th or 14th century Paris. That's how amazing the filming is. Ridley Scott is one of the possibly the all-time best in historical pieces. But Guillermo del Toro, he knows filmmaking. This dude has... Frankenstein was full of spectacle. That's what I wanted to say. Frankenstein was full of spectacle. And every time it's about to go over the top, Guillermo del Toro, he knows where to kind of bring it in. And the scene works. Just when you think it's going to go it's going to go kind of goofy. And it doesn't. It stays within his vision. And Frankenstein did that. Even though not everything with the screenplay, it was rushed, third act, boom, underwhelming by the end. What's his name? Oh, man. I'm so bad with names. I'm like, I'm one of those guys who is good. Like I go to a party and, people will say, they go, "Oh man, how you doing?" I'm so good at deflecting that. I haven't seen you since, God, when was the last time I saw you? It was come on, give me a fucking clue, right? That's Oscar Isaac. You know what? I liked him in Robin Hood. He was good in Robin. He was probably the best in Robin Hood with Another Ridley Scott movie. Another Ridley Scott movie. Oh shit, what am I doing? This fall. Again, the costumes were excellent. The Oscar Isaac was fantastic. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he was. Look at the scenes. I mean, literally, look at this. I mean, you can see everything with the trailers. And I didn't, you know what? I don't want to. What was the young kid's name that did Frankenstein? Yeah, Jacob Elordi. I just felt, and it could have been, like I said, it could have been direction. I thought Frankenstein fell flat. When I wanted to, it's almost like he had what's the eyebrows? What's the stuff you inject? Looked like, because he was like weird and blinking at weird times. That didn't make sense. If you watch it, you're kind of like, okay, he's a young actor. I know. Shit. I would have asked for more intensity, and overall, he did like 6. He did a 6, 5.5, 6. I wasn't overly impressed. I would give this movie a 7.5. I think IMDb has, what was Rotten Tomatoes? You guys know Rotten Tomatoes? Rotten Frankenstein. Rotten Tomatoes. He's let me take a look. Wow. Okay, 85% for the critics. 95% for the popcorn meter. The popcorn meter. So most people are liking this movie, and they should. This is a good movie. This is a breath. I'm going to say it, right? Okay. Just put it exactly the way I mean it. It's a breath of fucking fresh air, okay? This is a fucking breath of fresh air. Guillermo, I called you the other day. You didn't pick up the call, left a voicemail. No one answers my call. No one, like, yeah, I called. Yeah. I called Gilmore. I said, hey, Gilmore, it's Danny Alex calling. Or you, if you're gonna, can you give me a call back? It's, hello? What? I said, hey, Gilmore, can you? Fuck off. So that is my review on Frankenstein, guys. Overall it's pretty good. A few weak spots. There's weak spots in everything. This is could I do better? Fuck no. Better than that, I wouldn't even know. If script, I've won hundreds of awards in scripts. Could I do a better script? I don't know if it's a better script. I could do a version of the script that would be an interesting version. Filmmaking, oh, come on. Guillermo Del Toro was one of the best filmmakers. Setting up a scene, spectacle without going too far. Guillermo Del Toro is easily in the top 10 directors. Easy. Good job, Guillermo. Give us more. We'll take more We'll take less fucking Marvel and Star Wars. Disney princess movie. Yes. Are you waiting for Ahsoka 2? Are you waiting for? I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't greenlight The Acolyte 2. I mean, I'm kind of a little, No. You don't understand. The Acolyte 2. Let me say something here. Can I speak? The Acolyte 2 would have it's comedy. Fuck, man, it's comedy. When they spend $400 million on this shit, how do you not just sit back and say, I'm gonna love all the YouTubers ripping on this one, and every YouTuber that rips on it has fun ripping on it, and I'll believe me, Ahsoka 2 season 2 is gonna be no different, no freaking difference, and I have no desire to rip anyone apart. I get my stuff ripped apart. My screenplays get ripped apart, but I've also won a lot of big film festivals. You take the good with the bad. And I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of stuff in 2026 I'm looking forward to. There's some, you know what? I am looking forward to Avatar Fire and Ash. Looks, the second one was not good. The story wasn't good. It was cliche. The first one I thought had a very strong story. I mean, it was groundbreaking. There's no way to argue that. The second one, we got a new protagonist. I love Stephen Lang is one of my favorite actors. Period. Ike Clanton, Tombstone. Ike Clanton in Tombstone. That's Stephen Lang. Fucking amazing. Fucking awesome actor. Everything he does, boom. You can't have the same antagonist every way through. He comes back. Like he's in this one, but the antagonist is a female. I forgot the names. And the thing is about James Cameron, again, you know what? If you want to talk about wholesome family values and stuff like that, you're gonna get this, right? In Avatar. You're gonna get some visuals in that trailer. Holy fuck. On the big screen in IMAX. Could you, anyone, I spent 20 years in Hollywood. You take that script and you say, here's what I need. So in the screen description or the scene description, here's what I need done. 99.8% of directors would go, well, how the fuck am I going to do that? How do you want me to, I know I'm going to film it. I don't know. Do I get a budget like 800 million for like the Avatar Fire and Ash? I think is going to be, I hope it's not as cliche as the second one, but I am looking forward to it because there's not a whole lot of stuff to look forward to. In Badlands, what was that that just came out? Jeez, what is going on? There's a lot of good people in Hollywood, everyone. I spent 20 years in Hollywood. I know people who are solid, fucking solid people, solid writers. They're solid, but the whole system. Imagine so people that used to write science fiction were science fiction lovers like me, right? I love fantasy, I love science fiction, I love horror, I love writing horror. But if you're gonna get me to go do like some, hey Daddy, do you want to do are you interested in writing something for this feminist activist movie? Of like, are you serious? You want me to write an activist feminist movie? I mean, I can do science fiction if you want. No, well, you want me to? If you want me to write it, I keep forgetting your name. Who's doing the new Ray movie? Sinead Bai Chow Benoit. She did the feminist activist movies again. So now you want her to do a Star Wars movie? You know, Disney, you get everything you're fucking deserving, everything. And I'm sorry, when Bob Iger talks about story, you think he's a screenwriter? You think he knows anything shit about writing? A CEO doesn't need to know anything about screenwriting. Let the screenwriters deal with it. That's one of my things with Bob Iger. I mean, you bought stuff way overpriced. And now when you look back with Fox, Century 21, even with Star Wars, Marvel, you got your money back because of the Russo brothers. So, you brought them back. That's your last kick at the can. Hey? Doomsday, looking forward to Doomsday. Hey, put Frankenstein in Doomsday with Deadpool and Wolverine. Hey, you get the three healers all together. What's coming in 20? I got this down here. Here's what's left in 2025. I wear glasses for far stuff. Frankenstein, that's out. Predator, that's out. The Running Man. I got big problems with The Running Man. I got big problems with The Running Man. I'm going to do a live episode. Everything I'm doing is live. Fuck it. What is it? Is it the thing about going live on everything is where is it? This might apply.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Because everything is spontaneous. There's no you can't like stop and edit and do a take 10 times. That's the fucking beauty of live. It's a fucking beauty. Saturday night, man. Every Saturday night, I'm doing this with POPRAGEOUS. And then during the week, too, I've got live stuff. But then November 14th, now you see me, now you don't. November 21st, Wicked for Good. December 5th, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, some people didn't like it. It made a lot of money. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Avatar, December 12th. December 19th, Avatar Fire and Ash. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking it's over $2 billion. It's going to be over 2 billion, probably between 2 to 2.5 billion. Don't know what the story is. If the story is as weak as the second one, he's not going to be too good, my friends. He's not going to be too good. My best friend, one of my best friends, or my best friend, he is from Mexico. I always tell him, like, do like a American accent, you know? He won't do it. And, you know, because I spent 20 years in Los Angeles and I know about, 20 Spanish words. And so I speak with a Spanish accent, and I said, well, you got to, come on, man, do it. They don't do it. December 19th, Avatar, Fire and Ash. I mentioned that. David? Why do I not, what the fuck? And then December 25th, Anaconda. And that is actually an action comedy. So what are we looking forward to? Running Man. It worked with Schwarzenegger. I don't think it's going to work. The way they're doing it, I don't think Running Man is going to work. I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to work. Wicked for Good. It's going to do good. Wicked fans. Five Nights at Freddy's. Sophomore outing. Who the hell is going to... Sophomore outing, that's a tough one. The big one is obviously Avatar, Fire and Ash, December 19th, over the Christmas holidays. That's going to be the big one. So 2026 is looking good. So remember, guys, POPRAGEOUS, I'm back. It's been 18 months since I've been here. So this is my first show back. We've had a few people popping on. I got some work to do, okay? That is content. And a little bit of vino. I got some work to do. But we're back. POPRAGEOUS is back, guys. We're going to be doing a lot. I'm going to have some guests on, too. There's going to be some guests. Every Saturday night, POPRAGEOUS Live. Throughout the week, POPRAGEOUS Live. It's so I'm just coming back. I'm just building it back. We're going to do some shit. Shiite. Wait. That's a sect of Muslim, isn't it? Shiite? Yes. Oh man, I'm already in trouble with the Muslims. The Muslims hate me. Now that just because I did that, the freaking Muslims hate me. I love everybody. But if you do a shitty movie, I'll let you know. I won't cut you down, but I will let you know that your movie is not good. From a screenwriter's perspective, of course. My friends, that is it for this episode. So I will see you next Saturday night and throughout the week. POPRAGEOUS is back, my friends. I'm back. I don't know if that's good. I don't think that's good. Really? Yeah. My friends, that is all for tonight's show. I bid you a good night until next Saturday on POPRAGEOUS. Fuck off.